class. Welcome to another exciting English class with Bisayo. Today we're going to be looking at the parts of speech. Yes, the parts of speech. And we're going to be learning it in a very unique way. We're going to be looking at the parts of speech in correlation with the parts of our body, the parted. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify words and the parts of speech that they belong to. You would also be able to differentiate between parts of speech. You'll be able to tell what's the difference between a noun and a pronoun, difference between an adjective and an adverb, just by remembering the parts of your body. And you also be able to write out sentences of your own using these different parts of speech, meaning that when you make sentences, you'll be able to identify the parts of speech that the words you used in those sentences belong to. Yeah. So our first on the list of our parts of speech, drum roll, is nouns. Nouns are words that give an identity to a person, an animal, a place, a thing, an idea, a situation, a concept, a notion, whatever. Whatever word, when a word is used to give an identity to something, that word acts as a noun in that sentence, in that statement. Just like your face, just by looking at my face, when next you see this face somewhere else, you'll be able to remember that that's the English studies teacher that taught us parts of speech in relation with the parts of our body just by recognizing my face. You'd also you'd also recall that there are now applications, softwares that makes it easy to unlock devices just by facial recognition. Your face gives you an identity. So whenever you remember your face, remember that it represents a noun. Just as a noun gives an identity to something, someone, or somewhere, your face also gives you an identity. For instance, if I say Tolu is my classmate, let's assume that you have the sentence as Dash is my classmate. The question will be, who is your classmate? You're looking for an identity. The answer that will be there would be a noun. So Tolu is my classmate. Let's move on to the next part of speech. Pronouns. Now we know that nouns are words used to give identity, and so they are naming words. That's why they are called naming words. Now, pronouns were created so that in the absence of your face, you would still be identified. You will still be recognized. And what can that be? What can that be? Yes, your fingerprints. Your fingerprints. No two persons have the same fingerprints. And so even when you are not present, your fingerprints can be used to identify you. And so as fingerprints can be used to unlock a device in the absence of your face, So the same goes for pronouns. Pronouns can be used to replace or as a substitute for nouns, or they can refer back to an identity in a sentence. They can refer back to a noun in a sentence. So, in the previous example, we said noun, an example of a noun, Tolu is my classmate. And now we want to replace that noun with a pronoun. We say he is our classmate. This time around, it's more than one person talking. So instead of Tolu, we are using he. So instead of your face recognition, we're using your fingerprint recognition. We're using your fingerprint recognition. All right, who's ready for the next part of speech? Yay! And we have adjectives. Now, adjectives are used to show the distinct features of a noun. You, as a person, you have distinct features. You have so many distinct features that makes you different in a unique way from the next person sitting beside you. One common distinct feature that everyone can have is their birthmark. For instance, I have, oh, you won't be able to see it clearly, but I have birthmarks like dots, signs on my hand. And it's quite unique because you find it difficult. It's very easy. You can easily use it to describe me. And you find it difficult to find another person with this exact birthmark arranged exactly like this at this same position. So it means that this particular feature can be used to describe me, especially when there are so many English studies teachers around or there are so many Bisayos around. And so we can have the big blue bag belongs to me. This means that there are probably so many bags, and there are also more than one blue bag, but you've been able to identify two distinct features of that bag. It is big and it is blue, which means that examples of big and blue are examples of adjectives. Yes, as you can see, this cute little boy has a birthmark on his face. Mine is on my hand. Yeah. So let's move to the next part of speech. And we have verbs. Verbs are used to identify actions. Remember, nouns are used to give identity to someone, something, and not actions. But verbs are used to identify actions. They're used to name actions, activity. Right now, I am talking. The word talk has been used to name the activity I am currently doing. Aside talking, I am also teaching. The word teach is a verb, and it has been used to identify the activity teach, to teach. And so we can say that a verb is an action word, a doing word, or a word used to express a state of being. Good. Now, just like our sense organs, we use our ears, our eyes to see, our, our skin to feel, our ears to hear, our tongue to taste, and our nose to smell. So you can say, I smell a rat. Hmm. Or you can say, I see the moon. The act of seeing, the act of smelling, the act of hearing, they are all activities, they are all actions. And these words that have been used to identify these activities are called verbs. We have so many other examples of verbs like talking, like writing. Any activity at all that you are involved in, it is an action and there is a word used to name them. Let's move to the next part of speech. And we have adverbs. Adverbs are used side by side with verbs, just like the word adverbs. They are used together with verbs because they are used to explain an action. For instance, I am talking slowly. I'm not talking fast. Talk is the verb, is the action. That's what I am doing. While slowly explains how I am talking. Can you see the correlation? Slowly explains how I am talking. That's why slowly is the adverb describing the verb, explaining the action, talk. Just like you can see me using my hands, my mouth to explain what I want you to learn, the instructions I'm giving you, just like I am explaining it. I'm not just I'm not just looking at you and showing you the slides. I'm explaining, I am demonstrating with my hands, with my mouth. That's exactly what adverbs do. They make the verbs have more meaning. They give us deeper meanings of the actions that are being performed by a noun. Can you see how they are interconnected? Just like we use our mouth and hand to explain. So we have Shade slowly wrote down a to-do list. You know what a to-do list is? Yes, a list of things that you're set to do either for the day, for the week, for the month, so that you can have a track record of how well you're doing, or so that you can tick off each item on the list as you do them. And so in this sentence, slowly is the adverb because it is describing how Shade wrote down a to-do list. Imagine that there is no neck. How is the head linked to the shoulder and the rest of the body? If there is no link here, the head will be displaced. There will be no place for the head to stay. But because we have a neck, we have the neck holding the head. It's it is well placed and linked to other parts of our body. So whenever you see your neck, you remember prepositions. For instance, if I say Amaka's house is across the road, the noun, the subject of the sentence there is Amaka's house, while the object of the sentence is the road, which are both nouns. Now, the word across is serving as the preposition showing the link between Amaka's house and the road. Our next part of speech is conjunctions. Conjunctions. Now, prepositions serve as links. Conjunctions serve as joints. Yes, there's a joint here. There's a joint here, there's a joint here, there's a joint here, and it goes on all over your body. Without these joints, you will not be able to stand, walk, sit, write, or do anything. Our bones will just be scattered about. But because we have bones that are joined together, we have a structure, we can do things together. Our body parts can work, our bones can work together. So that's what conjunctions do for us. They are words that are used to join two words, phrases, and sentences together. Now, you can already guess the part of your body that joins every part together. Yeah, your bones, your joints, your skeletal system. As you can see, that's the rib cage, that's the hand bone, that's the pelvic bone, and that's the leg bone. For instance, I want to join two sentences together. I planted the flowers, she watered them. How do I join them together? I just put and. I planted the flowers and she watered them. The word and is a conjunction. Other conjunctions are but, so, and many more. Our next part of speech, the last but not the least, is what I call interjections. 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 They are words used to express emotions. What part of our body expresses emotions? Our heart. Our heart. Now, how do you feel when you're scared or when you're in so much pain? Your heart is beating fast, faster than usual, and then you're making the sound, ouch. Or when you're so excited, your heart sometimes also beats fast, and then you hear something like, yay. Yes, just like it's seen in this image. So, interjections are words that are used to express a positive or a negative emotion. Ouch. Yay. Oh, a surprise. Hooray. Excitement. Remember that whenever you're using an interjection, in they must always come with exclamation marks. They must always come with exclamation marks. Please pardon the background noise. I have kids around and they can't but talk. All right, so let's do a short activity together. Identify the parts of speech in these sentences and state the correlating part of the body. I'm going to do the first one for you, and you can watch this video over and over again so that you can do the rest of the three and also go ahead and learn more and more and more. So, number one, Tolu and Tola ate their breakfast. Now, Tolu and Tola, I remember something is joining two words together, Tolu and Tola, and that is joints. Joints. And so when I remember joints, I remember conjunctions. So and is a conjunction. At, I ask myself, what are they doing? They are eating. Eating is an activity, and ate is the past tense of eat. And so I remember that the sense organs shows activities. So when I remember the sense organs, I remember verbs. So ate is a verb. Now go ahead and try out the rest of the three. And let me know if you have any questions. Send in your questions to my WhatsApp or to the WhatsApp group. I'll be expecting them. Do well to watch this video over and over again to make sure that you internalize this. I hope you enjoyed the class. I can't wait to get your feedbacks. Have a nice day. Bye.